Inside Melbourne, Episode 8. Clint Stanaway with you, alongside me, Jack Viney and Lil Mithen. G'day, guys.
Go Stanners.
Good morning.
Good to see you, Lil, again. And our special guest this week, Tom McDonald, fresh from his heroics, can we say, Jack?
Yeah,
on the Gold
I don't
Coast.
think we can say heroics.
We'll get to that in a second, but Jack...
You tired of kicking game winners yet?
Well, it's like fumbling but falling over the line at the last line.
Right.
It's like missing the last hurdle but still winning. But we'll
it's still
take it.
It's still a game winner. You got to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Would have been a bit more glory if I had taken the mark, had the shot after the siren with not too much pressure from the goal square. But I'll take it. It counts.
So
Even Bradbury's got a moment.
Yeah, it was. It's Bradbury. That's how you describe it. Yeah.
Lil back on the podcast and digging one straight in. I like it. Good stuff, Lil.
Here I am.
Hey, let's start there. Take us to that last couple of minutes because, geez, it was edge of the seat type stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting. We were talking about it yesterday, and despite being down the goal, sometimes you get feelings in games where you almost feel helpless. Well, I have that feeling, and even if you're in a more commanding position, you can just feel like something's not right, and you're sort of not having an impact, or you can't influence the game. But for some reason, I just sort of had this feeling like we were going to get another chance at it, and I felt personally I could have an impact in the last. And we got told there's 50 seconds left after they kicked the goal. And I remember talking to Melksham back in the goal square. I was like, let's get everyone back and block for each other because someone's going to get a look here. Turns out we didn't, and Marty Hall kicked the goal to put us up. But I feel like we were pretty clear, level-headed that we were still a chance, and we just needed something to go right for us. And we were pretty lucky that the midfielders had a really good passage of play, and I should have swallowed up a mark and had a nice shot after the goal from the top of the goal square. But we gave ourselves a chance to win just because I felt like we were pretty clear in getting it done, and there wasn't much panic and there wasn't a real franticness to us. There was a calmness, and it ended up getting us a win and kept our season alive maybe. You feel the same way, or did you feel like...
No, absolutely.
But do you know the feeling I'm talking about when you just feel like sometimes you feel like you can't impact the game and you feel a bit foggy and you're just helpless, but it didn't feel like that on the weekend.
You know, we train particularly, to be in that position in game. So, we've rehearsed it, and it's just like, all right, we're in this position now. Now we're into, win the game mode. And yeah, we had, I'm similar. I was talking to the mids, and it was like, we got 50 seconds to win the game here, and we all were like, let's do it. So yeah, people are like, oh, geez, you're lucky, this and that. But, personally, I think it's, you create your own luck. And luckily, we were able to, like you said, there was a level of composure out there, able to execute our game plan in those particular moments. And, it came off. So it was a good result.
So let's go back a step. Marty Hoare, the clarity in which he addresses that situation as well for a fourth gamer, I think.
Yeah.
You got to be particularly impressed with that first and foremost, Tom.
Well, it was probably, looking at it yesterday, it was Jaden Hunt who really made the difference, because he got the ball at the 50, and we were talking about he could have blazed away and had a shot, and he's probably not going to kick it on his left from 50 under pressure, but driving his legs and getting it to Marty, who was open. Obviously pretty good by Marty to kick the goal from 50 on the run, and it's his first ever goal in AFL footy, but it was really Jaden Hunt who gave us the chance by winning the footy and then being really calm and getting it to his teammates. So there's a lot of good things that went in that passage. And then Jaden on the next play was the guy who really went at the ball with some speed, created a contest, and let Harmsy pick it up. So Hunty was a real catalyst for the last minute.
Yeah, and on the Marty Hoare goal, he was a spare defender at the time, and you can see Josh Wagner communicating to him, saying, come up higher. So, he's a fourth game player, but that's what happens when you're switched on and you got teammates around you helping you. So, Wagner's not an overly experienced player in himself, but for himself, and that's something people don't see as well. For him to stand up in that moment and communicate to get everything set up the way we needed it to be is a reason why, one of the reasons why Marty Hall ends up getting a shot on goal to put it to even the scores.
And it was a dewy night, so we'll let you off that that spill there.
Harmsy's kick didn't help you.
Now, look, I probably should have marked it. We do practice. It's funny, we do practice marking those sort of balls. I didn't realise I was actually so clear. I almost could have gone for a chest mark because my man had gone to the goal line to try and spoil it, and it's dropped short off Harmsy's shin. So I didn't realise. I just thought my guy was right on my back and he was going to try and spoil it as well. But look, I should have marked it. It didn't. We won. Who cares? Move on. Forget about it.
Yeah, so you spill it 3, 2.
I knew there had to be 5 seconds or less
Yeah.
based on the math because we knew there was 50 seconds on the first ball up when we needed a goal. We didn't get because there wasn't enough time to get the time back out again from Crossy with the new runner rules. So we knew must be maybe 15 to 20 seconds. So I knew there had to be
Get something to
5
it.
left because based just on the pure math, I had to get something on. So look, it didn't really make any difference. A point might have even been more valuable if there was more time left because they would have to go the full field to score.
Yeah.
So.
With Harmsies, was he going for goal, do you reckon?
Yeah, I think he was. I don't think he realised how much pressure he was under. And as we were saying, it's a dewy night. He picked it up off the ground and you have that tiny little bobble when it's that little bit dewy.
Yeah.
And that gives that half second for the defender to sort of just close onto him and get a finger on him and put some pressure on his kick. So, yeah.
And the Suns, look, they're no slouches. While their record doesn't suggest that they're getting the job done, they've been right in matches this year. So
They've been impressive.
It's
really impressive.
it is a good win away from home. Is that fair to say?
No, we were worded up by the coaches. Coming into this game, we thought Gold Coast were playing terrific football. So we were, G'd right up to come out there and not take them lightly because, like you said. They are playing great football, and we knew that we really had to fight to earn the game, and it was the whole match was back and forth fight, nothing pretty about it, which is what we expected.
That's week 2 of that real arm wrestle style situations. Do you think that's holding the guys in good stead, Tom, in terms of building some real semblance of confidence and
there's
momentum?
There's an element of confidence coming from the fact we're back in games and we've won a couple, but they could have gone either way. But we're back playing the way we want to play, and it's not pretty, and we're nowhere near our best form of what we're capable of, especially scoring-wise. But there's at least a foundation back to the game style and the way we play, which will keep us in games against any opposition. We think that'll keep us in the game this weekend against a top 4 side. We probably need to improve in a couple of areas to beat a side like that on the weekend, but we know that the baseline level's back and there's improvement to come.
Few casualties, unfortunately. Update on that, or do you have any sort of thoughts and feelings of how that changes the team this week?
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing for those boys. So Hibbard with the collarbone, and I think he's had surgery, all good so far. Probably miss a couple of weeks, but Melksham with a little foot injury of some sort. I'm not sure the specifics, but I'm guessing he's probably going to miss a month. So 2 of our best players, I'd say. Hibbo was probably our best player till he got injured, and then Melky was the same until 3/4 time. So pretty important players, but look, we just can't do much about it. There'll be other guys will come in, play a role. The good thing is we were talking about it yesterday, how well our VFL's been playing, with a lot of young guys really doing a really good job. So,
well, that's the flip side, isn't it? Because you could argue someone somewhere has walked under a ladder, and this injury curse has been quite nasty. Jack, how did you pull up from the match?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah, good. All happy.
I'm going very good.
That's a positive, confident answer. I like it.
I don't know how every week I'm shocking. You saw after every game. I've never ever pulled up well, felt better than I have going into the game, but that's all right.
So then we jump on the plane again, Perth. The last time we were there wasn't overly memorable. Have you watched that prelim final, by the way, or not?
No.
Is there any point in watching it?
I don't think I'd get much a whole lot out of it except for
of course
a few tears and some pretty hurtful emotions.
So how do you attack a game like that? I mean, it'll be a difficult assignment.
Use more of the vision from the 5 weeks beforehand and look at what worked against them.
The win.
We probably would use some vision of when we lost, of what not to do, and maybe looking at how they chopped us up. But the good thing is that we beat them 5 weeks before at the same place. Yeah. And I know the stakes weren't as high because it's a regular season game, but there's an element of knowing we can at least win at that stadium against that team.
It's a different year, different teams, So you try and you just take it for what it is, and you go off. They're their last,
Yep.
how they're travelling, their last few games, how we're travelling, and you go out there and you try your best to beat them. So, I doubt that there's going to be much or many people kind of with that
mentality.
That thought of the anxiousness of going to West Coast with what happened at in the end of last year. I know I'm certainly not.
Because I guess that's what some people fear, that there might be a fragility.
Yeah, and
there.
I know that's the kind of narrative out there, but us as players, we're so week to week focused that,
Of course.
like, damn, that game feels like a lifetime ago, so we're just looking forward to getting out there and looking to make 3 in a row and build, because like Tommy said, feel like we're starting to build, starting to find our feet again, and we don't want it to stop. So plenty of improvement to be done, and we want to go over there and find it against a really good side.
If there was fragility on being beaten by a side on a certain oval by a certain team, then we wouldn't be able to play on the MCG. We got, what did we lose by to Geelong? 186.
Yeah.
Like, we've won there since then. So
Down at Kadini Park.
you don't have you don't get these flashes movie style when you walk onto the ground just because you lost by 60 points last time you played there. Like, we've been beaten by 100 on the MCG and we can still win there. Like, that sort of stuff doesn't exist. Players move on.
And we've been quite good on the road this year, so surely you take confidence out of that you jump on the plane and head over together and get the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're a team that love travelling, and you get to bond and spend a bit extra time together, and our performances have been reasonably strong interstate. So it's a nice thing to have, but at the same time, it's similar to having lost by 70 points last time we played them. It's something that you're not really focusing on a whole deal. It's just more how we travelling, our game style, what are our roles that need to be executed on the day, and then we go over there and get it done. So
I agree. Concur.
I'm glad. One more. An area of some frustration is still heading inside 50 and efficiency inside 50. What's being done to try to address that, Tommy?
Heaps has been done. We just haven't nailed it yet.
Yep.
But it's probably that as much as our contested work are the two areas we've focused on all pre-season, all season, sorry. And it's frustrating. And it's hard to not let that get the better of you, but you can see we're really trying now. Like, we're really trying to use our teammates and bring each other into the game. It's just the execution of it hasn't come. So it went from the start of the year, it was blasting it, hoping for the best, nothing was happening. Now we're at the stage where we're really trying to use each other and provide a good option for midfielders. Midfielders are trying to use us. We're just not clicking with the amount of percentages what we probably did last year. So the next stage is where we just start to hit it. All you need to do is hit a few more per game going forward, and all of a sudden, team starts scoring 4 or 5 goals extra a game, and you go from being a low-scoring side to one of the best scoring sides in the comp like we were last year. So we're just a couple of opportunities away. We're missing a few easy ones. It's coming. We're working on it. It just hasn't clicked yet, and I can feel it's not far away.
Speaking of not far away, questions from the outer here on episode 8 of Inside Melbourne, with thanks to Zurich. In fact, they're coming up after this very short break. We'll be back with you soon.
Thanks to our co-major partner and podcast sponsor, Zurich. For over 100 years, they've been ensuring the people and the things you truly love. And just like you, they truly love footy and they truly love Melbourne.
Welcome back to Inside Melbourne. Thanks to Zurich. We're here accompanied by a special guest, Tom McDonald. Game winner.
Or Bradbury.
As he's calling himself around the club these days. Questions from the outer, mate. I've got one here that took my eye. Are you more grumpy than Jack Finey?
Depends how I went on the weekend.
Am I grumpy? Like, is that a perception of me?
No, I think you and me both have a similar one, that if you're not offering anything of value to us, if you're not coming with some good conversation, we'll just be like, well, go away. Like, don't come and bother me with your crap.
So you're both grumpy.
Can be grumpy.
We're just not
focused.
Yeah, exactly. We've always got a goal.
Setting an example. You're very serious.
Always on a mission. That's
like
me. Anyone else got a question?
I think we'll leave it there, actually.
See you guys.
Next week.
Will?
There's a couple here about your Mustang. Nick's Lux is asking when it's going to be finished, and then Tom Sizzle, when are you selling it or why?
No, so I have a modern Mustang, which I drive day to day, which I am selling. But I'm selling it because I've got an old 1967 Mustang. It's a fastback GT 390 for anyone who knows their cars. So it's a big block Mustang, which is pretty special to me. So I bought this last year off a friend of a friend that was very run down and it's needed a complete rebuild. So I've been rebuilding it by hand with my cousin in his garage in Geelong, and it's getting closer and closer to being finished. So this has been a passion project for the whole year, and it's going to be a really awesome classic car when it's done. So hopefully that's done soon, and I can get rid of the new one and have a more practical day-to-day car. Maybe with 4 doors would be nice and a bit of boot space. So
Preparing himself for family life, maybe.
Yeah, potentially. Who knows?
we need to get organised. So, but this old car is like, I can't overstate how happy I am with what it's going to be. Like,
cool.
I'm not a car nut, but I'm really passionate about doing this because I put so many hours into it, and it's going to be a really special thing when it's done. So,
Wait, did you say you're not a car nut?
well, like, not about all cars, but about this particular car I am. So
Okay.
that's, I don't know much about other cars, but this one I've done a lot of research on. So
When did your love for Mustangs kind of originate?
I've kind of liked the old school American muscle cars, and the Mustang just seemed like the most traditional and iconic sort of style. I really like the old Plymouths or Dodge Challengers of the late 60s, early 70s, and this is a 1967 one, which I think is the best shape and model. And I just got really lucky that a guy said, I might know of one for sale, and it was literally the first one I went and saw, and I bought it, not realising how much work had to go into it to get it going.
I remember seeing you showed me photos, and it was like
it was
rusted holes through.
Yeah. The floor was missing on one side, so that's all been rebuilt. It's pretty much going to have a new engine, new transmission. Everything is new in it, and it's going to be painted up with a new red interior. So,
Oof, what colour is it?
Raven black with a red interior.
Raven black. What is that?
It's like shiny black.
Shiny.
I was going to do it satin
metallic
black. Yeah, it was going to be a satin sort of matte black and be a bit more modern looking, but now we're going to go a traditional sort of shiny black, which is called Raven black, which is the original colour. Because you get a piece of paper with the car. This is what sort of made it valuable, is that the paper documents when the car was built, what factory, what it came with, and the value of the car is in this document of paper, and it tells me that it has to be Raven black. So, anyway, most people won't give a crap about this, so move
I
on.
was going to say any more car-related
I'm
questions.
sure there's a couple out there saying, damn.
No,
You
I got
enjoyed that
nothing.
conversation?
Yeah, loved it. Yeah. I'm looking for a new car actually, so.
Oh, there you go. You might be in the market.
Yeah.
You'd look good in the Stang, in the Mustang.
Damn.
Hey, Ben Bowring asks, is it true Marty Hoare took 4 weeks to accept Max Gawn's friend request on Facebook?
Wouldn't surprise me, but I don't know for sure on that one.
I don't think Gorney's still hasn't accepted mine.
Yeah, Gorney's hopeless. Gorney has, so people on their phone who have the notifications on text messages,
Yeah.
he's got 290 unread texts.
Yeah, I've got a bit the same.
Hang on. How
not
can you
great.
not read them? Like, even if
You
you don't
read the
respond,
ones. You read the ones you want to read.
that I can't have the little red symbol on any app
Totally,
on my
we're very
phone.
similar, mate.
Yeah.
You and me, very similar.
Phone has to be updated the moment it needs updating.
Really?
Apps need updating the moment they're updated. Like, I can't have stuff.
Yeah, I've
sitting
got
there.
1,762 unread emails.
Does yours
Just throw it away.
Does your messages, does it sometimes bug out where you've looked at all your messages but it still says that there's a message
Occasionally,
unread?
yeah.
Oh,
It drives me
It
nuts.
does my head in. I'll have to turn my phone off and on.
Turn it off and on, reset it.
But you are very organised. What's the setup with that box that you rock up to training with and game
The
day?
bucket.
Yeah, the bucket.
Buckets, because I get stiff ankles because I had surgery on my ankles, so they just get stiff until they get warmed up. So I bring a bucket to training and games. I fill it with hot water and I just sit there splashing my feet around in hot water before the game, and it warms them up.
But the club can't provide you just a bucket of hot water.
Well,
You've got to bring
They
your
have,
own.
but they don't fit both feet in at once. Like, they buy the cheap buckets from Kmart, whereas I've got a good one that fits both feet. It's got handles on it. It's the A-grade version.
Might need
Got a
bucket,
good grip.
Yeah.
bucket sponsor.
Yeah.
Maybe. Might
Well,
be
hit
something
me
to
up.
come.
Twitter, Instagram.
Anything else catch the eye, Lil?
A bit more of a serious one. Marcus 942. Do you feel like in the last 2 weeks you're getting back to the form you were in 2018?
Yeah, a little bit. I actually had an interesting conversation on radio with Brendan Goddard yesterday, and they asked a similar question, like, how have I been going? And I said, it's really frustrating because it's the first time in probably 3 years where I actually did all the pre-season. I come off what I thought was a reasonable year of footy last year and was hoping I could keep going and improve. And it just doesn't happen. It didn't happen early in the season, and it builds frustration. And I feel like I've tried every different option of training more, doing less, doing more weights, less weights, more craft, like trying different things each week, and nothing's really changed. And I asked Brendan, have you ever been through that? And he said after 2010, Mike Sheehan named him as the second best player in the comp. And he said I could have gone one or two ways. I could have rested on that or had a really big pre-season and gone again. He said I had my best ever pre-season after that, and then for 6 weeks he couldn't get a touch. And he had the worst start to the season ever. And I said, well, what happened? And he said, I just stopped trying so hard. I stopped caring, and it came back. And he said, I almost just forgot about worrying about trying to play well. And as soon as he did that, the form came back. And I feel like the last couple of weeks I've just sort of focused on training well, but then not as stressed about everything else. And it started to come back. Like, I'm still not playing great, but it's at least better than where I was a few weeks ago. And I'm starting to feel a bit better about myself for that as well. But it was interesting to hear from him that going through the same thing at probably a bigger scale, because I said I wasn't the second best player in the comp, but I still expected more of myself than what I'd done so far. So it's so frustrating when you're not playing the way you want to and there's not really an excuse, and it just builds up on you and you get really down on yourself. But you can't really do much about it other than just keep playing, and it'll eventually turn.
Very well said.
Let's have a bit more fun. Thomas Foster asks, where would you rank yourself amongst the playing group with your fashion sense? This comes up a lot, your fashion sense in Inside Melbourne, the various questions. There you go. And are you sick of Melksham giving you stick about the way you dress?
Look, I don't care too much, to be honest, at the footy club, because I see these boys every day and I'm not trying to impress them. If we have an event and a function, I'll try and dress nice or something I have to, but no, it's not a concern. The money that could go into fashion goes into the car. That's where I'd rather put my money.
Priorities.
Yeah, priorities.
Very good. Anything else, Jack?
This is something that I think people might not know about you and your family.
Dirt.
Was how well. No, it's not dirt, but very, very,
I was hopeful.
very, very smart family.
Yeah.
Intellectual family. What were the ATAR scores back at school?
I was well behind.
So you let the family down and you got 96.
No, much lower than that. I got 91.6.
Oh, so you were big disappointment in the family.
Oscar got 99.2.
Really?
Laura's now a doctor at Alfred Hospital, and she got 99.4. And little sister Sasha, who's currently a training partner at the Melbourne Vixens, kind of like a rookie on an AFL list. She got 99.1, I think, and is studying bioscience. So they just tried harder. I probably could have beaten them, but had other priorities. Girls, footy. Girls didn't talk to me. But
what's Oscar doing with his ATAR? Did he end up starting
He's doing
anything?
science at Melbourne Uni as well. So
cool.
I'm doing commerce and hopefully finishing next year, and he does science at the same university. So he does it pretty easy, though. He comes in with a few facts on molecular biology each week. He's actually pretty incredible. He's funny. He gets called up to the front of the group and he gives a rundown on something bizarre every now and then, and it's actually quite incredible what he can remember. Like he broke down an atom the other day, didn't he, or something like that? And
to a group of footballers, that's like, wow.
you could pretty much get up there and say anything, really. Oh yeah, good one, Oscar.
There's one here about Oscar. What's the worst thing you and Oscar did growing up? They've given an example, e.g. break something valuable.
One day, for some reason, we were in Mount Gambier at our cousin's house for Christmas, and we decided the house with the big windows over the road, it'd be fun to throw rocks at their window.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And got absolutely torn to shreds for us. Like, it ruined Christmas. Just trying to think what else we did. Actually, Laura, the doctor, was a bit of a hothead, and we'd get stuck into her. And we had this car that's called a beach buggy. It was kind of like a paddock bomb car that had no roof but a roll cage on it, and we'd fly it around the paddock. Dad put the motor in himself, like it was pretty much hand-built. And we really got stuck into Laura one day, and she cracked it and grabbed a butter knife and chased us with a butter knife. I jumped in the car and jammed it in first and took off, and she threw the butter knife and it's stuck in the back of the leather seat because there's no doors or anything on it. It's flown and gone right where it would have hit me in the spine, and it's stuck into the leather seat, this butter knife. So Laura was actually the hothead when we were kids.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Jesus.
Wow.
Things really escalate in the country, don't they?
Only the strong survive out there.
Psychos. Jeez.
I did get chased around when I was living in Tugo. Did you get chased around the Wines' property by Ollie's younger brother with a slug gun?
Yeah, good.
So he got the family gun out and was chasing around the
There's
property.
actually a family down the road that did the same thing. All 3 boys who were just nut jobs. They all had slug guns, and they'd do slug gun fights like it was paintball against each other. So they put a helmet on, they put like a motorbike helmet on, and they just
Some
go goggles on and a motorbike helmet, and just go slug gun as though it was paintball around the farm, shoot each other.
Wow.
It's a different world out Eden Hope.
Yeah, that's how you grow up.
I think we've got time for one more, Will.
What did you want to be growing up? What were you going to do with your 91.68 if you weren't playing footy?
I initially wanted to be a chef when I was really young. That sort of faded away when I realised you'd work nights and weekends for the rest of your life.
It's a hard slog.
Yeah. I love basketball. I would have loved to have worked in a sport in America, even if it was in an admin side. But it never really became serious because I was so focused on trying to play footy or basketball at a young age that I would have had to cross that bridge when I got there and never got to that stage. So I'm in the process now of more looking towards what it's going to be post-footy, but I haven't got an answer for you yet, sorry.
Fair
I'm
enough.
sorry.
All right. Well, Tom's got to get off to a meeting, I'm
Very
told.
important meeting.
Just tell us about that.
You don't want-
Forwards meeting, is it?
Yep, so catch up with Neil Bullen, David Misson and Max Rook once a week for a coffee and just talk about the forward line, how guys are going, what we can do better at training. It's pretty much just a little informal catch-up about planning for the week ahead and reviewing the weekend. So
Who shouts a coffee? Your
it's
shout
probably
this week?
my turn today. Yeah. I think I get it every week, but I'll just do it again.
Hey, guys, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck out west.
Thank you.
Friday night. Should be a ripper. We'll be watching.
Can't wait. It's very exciting.
All right. Well, that was episode 8, Inside Melbourne, with thanks to Zurich. We'll catch you next week.